Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers for January 26, 2026 discover Jason Morgan is suspicious and Harrison Chase conniving against notoriety. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week, also we'll talk about coming week. General Hospital spoilers: Nina upset and Curtis probative. On Wednesday, January 21st, Ava Jerome and Nina Reeves are drooling about Willow Tate. She's free from the trouble of captivity, but not free from Drew King Quartermain. Ava advises her friend to stay out of it, but Nina thinks Drew is no way going to let her son get down from him. Curtis Ashford joins Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson at the same eatery. Kai leaves so Curtis can talk to his son about Portia Robinson, the baby, and what's going on. Curtis tells Trina that Portia has a meeting at General Hospital to decide if she's going to be fired for the test tampering. Trina joins Ava, who's veritably glad that Trina and Kai are doing so well. Trina tries to advise Ava off of Jen Sidwell, but she thinks she's got it in hand. Willow's deception and Drew's medical crisis on GH. Meanwhile, Willow calls 911 about Drew's collapse and she's doing theater. She's surely play acting. Over at the sanitarium, Elizabeth Weber is telling Lucas Jones she thinks Willow lets Drew control her. They get notified about a critical case on the way. Willow shows up and says Drew started warbling his words and also he collapsed. Liz is being nice and assuring her. Kai's arrives with Nina, and Willow addresses about how she's spooked. Kai is skeptical because he knows that she tried to kill Drew ahead. Tracy Quartermain wants to know why Willow's weeping. Lucas comes out and says they suspect Drew had a severe stroke. Tracy says that Drew got air when she hears he might be a vegetable. Willow slinks off to dispose of the hype. In a Sharps box on the wall by the bathroom, getting relief of the substantiation of what she did. Portia Robinson faces the General Hospital board. Laura Weber and Tracy talk about whether they need to fire Portia over the test tampering. They hear to her and give her a chance to explain herself. Portia says she was guarding Trina. The medical board cleared her to keep her license, and Portia reminded them she stuck by her pledge and saved Drew's life indeed though he was hanging her ongoing. Stella Henry corners Portia and she's snarky. When she goes, Dr. Isaiah Gannon corners Stella, who's kind of short with him. He says, "Look, Curtis and Portia's marriage was done before I came into the picture." Isaiah also reminds Stella what Portia has done for her. Latterly, Isaiah comforts Portia and says, "It's all going to be fine." Stella does follow up and apologizes for piling onto Portia. WSB pitfalls and Jason Morgan's new date on GH. WSB director Cullum watches Britt Westbourne as she pulls Jason into her office. Britt pays him back for the precious dine and dash and asks Jason out on a date. He says yes. Cullum comes in after Jason goes and tells her she has got to vanish and go work in the lab at Windmere because they've to hit the deadline in 3 months. Britt doesn't want to do this and asks for just one further day. Cullum refuses and says they're going to cut off her drug unless she does it. Eventually, it looks like her meds are coming from the WSB, which really stinks. Cullum also tells Britt, "Get Jason out of your life or I'll do it for you." Violence erupts between Michael Corinthos and Chase on General Hospital. Sonny Corinthos warns Justine not to target Michael Corinthos. She takes it as a trouble. She thinks Willow's shamefaced and Sonny says, "Okay, so also why make Michael?" Sonny tells her to drop the Drew case because the creep got what he merited. Chase tells Michael it's his own fault if he's charged with shooting Drew. They get into it and start beating on each other to the point that Michael asks Chase how long until he's back in Willow's bed. Chase punches him and Michael punches back. They're beating each other until Jason breaks it up. Chase vows to make sure Michael pays. Michael insists to Jason he didn't shoot Drew, but he knows the Bobbies are going to come for him. Jason promises that Willow and Drew won't get the kiddies. Curtis wants to know how it went with Portia. Laura says it went enough well. Curtis reminds Laura that Drew wanted Portia to tamper with Michael's test to make him look like an addict, but Portia refused. Curtis insists to Laura that Portia deserves to keep her job. Diurnal spoilers for Thursday and Friday. GH occurrences on Thursday, January 22nd. We've got Lucas giving notoriety ruinous news. It looks like it's about Drew. They said he might be in a vegetative state, have locked-in pattern, or have aphasia, which means he can't communicate. It's commodity dire. Jack Brennan fills in Jocelyn Jacks, and I suppose he's veritably suspicious of director Ross Cullum Andrew Hawk. Tracy offers commodity to Jason on Thursday, and Laura is scarified by commodity. Plus, Nina has some advice for Kai, and I wonder if he's going to tell her about Willow and the fact that he knows she's the bone. Who shot Drew? On Friday, we've got Jason suspicious of someone. It may be about Britt because she's got to cut Jason out of her life right when they were getting near. With this Cullum Joe skulking around, Jason's going to be on this. I do wonder if Jason sees Cullum leaving her office and finds out who he is. Emma Scorpio Drake contending with Nathan West to help her find Anna Devane. Chase and Brooke Lynn Quartermain talk about the future. I'm sure Brooke Lynn has to know he was hassling with Michael, she wouldn't like that. However, I suppose BLQ will be veritably worried and tell him to stop, if Chase says that he's going to make sure Michael goes down for shooting Drew. Marco Rios and Lucas get a surprise on Friday, and Britt is painted into a corner by Cullum and his demands about her lab work. Also on Friday, stick around till the end because there's going to be a special homage to Tony Geary, who passed away in December. General Hospital February sweeps and the hunt for Anna for the week of January 26th through the 30th. Sweeps kicks off on Thursday the 29th and runs through February 25th. We'll find out further about Drew's fate. We're also going to see Ava getting played by Sonny. He wants to weaponize her against Sidwell. Jordan Ashford sets up in preface, and it may be for her master, Sidwell. Curtis is feeling relieved. So it sounds like the sanitarium board decided to let Portia keep her job at GH. Jason is hysterical for Britt and addresses to someone about it. He may talk to Lisa Lobrecht or Nina. He can't go to Carly Corinthos Spencer, though he could go to Sonny. Effects are looking really bad for Britt because of Cullum. Anna's situation goes from bad to worse coming week. Cullum, Sidwell, and Pascal are using Caesar Faison's voice to try and drive Anna crazy. They're making plans to get relief of her formerly and for all. Emma soon goes to see Mac Scorpio and Felicia Scorpio and tells them she's upset that commodity has happened to Anna. We know from spoilers that Emma, Mac, and Felicia take off as part of the trouble to deliver Anna. Effects are going to get dicey and notoriety may be seriously hurt. Valentine Cassadine and Sidwell are face-to-face soon. Brennan's a problem for Sidwell and also a problem for Valentine. Sidwell could work with Valentine or he could just hand him over to Cullum, who may actually want to use Valentine against Brennan because he's obviously making dirty deals each over the place. Sonny Corinthos hunts for a fall Joe on GH. Sonny continues his sweats to weaponize Ava against Sidwell. More importantly, Sonny is looking for a fall Joe to condemn for Drew's firing so he can cover Michael and make sure Justine doesn't go after him. I wish Sonny had been recording her because she just literally said, I suppose the shamefaced person got down with it, but she's still planning to make Michael. That's called vicious execution. Plus, Brennan is decreasingly suspicious of Cullum. I do suppose that Britt might have a shot if she ran to Jack and asked for his help against Cullum. General Hospital recap for Wednesday, January 21st, reveals that Tracy Quartermain hoped Drew Kane was a vegetable while Kai Taylor suspected Willow Kane and Jason Morgan stopped a brawl. At GH, Britt Westbourne showed off her office to Jason and gave him some of the plutocrat she owed him. Britt also induced Jason to wear his blue suit for their coming date and shoot him on his way with a kiss. At the Quartermain manse, Michael Corinthos and Harrison Chase got into a brawl after hurling cuts at each other. Chase struck the first blow after Michael wondered how long until he was back in Willow's bed. Jason broke up the fight when he came home, but Chase made it clear that Michael would pay for what he'd done. Once he was alone with Jason, Michael bothered Chase was right and that he'd indeed be fulfilled. Michael didn't want his kiddies back under Drew's roof, so Jason assured Michael that they wouldn't let that be. Jason also let Michael know that he believed in his innocence. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos pushed ADA Justine Turner to back off Michael. Justine said she'd recuse herself from the case if Michael was fulfilled and that she truly believed Willow was shamefaced. Sonny claimed Drew had it coming and suggested no jury would condemn anyone for shooting a snake like him. With that in mind, Sunny felt that the case should just be pronounced unsolved so everyone could move on. At GH again, Elizabeth Baldwin learned a critical case was coming by and gave Lucas Jones updates. Nina Reeves was at the cafe with Ava Jerome when Willow called, acting frantic over commodity passing to Drew. While Drew's medical platoon worked on stabilizing him, Willow told Liz that she was celebrating with Drew at home when they both took one belt of champagne. Willow also claimed Drew had a headache and that he began floundering to get his words out. After Willow said Drew started warbling and that one side of his face appeared to be melting, she added that he collapsed. Elizabeth hugged Willow, who also got some comfort from Nina after Kai drove her to the sanitarium. Kai kept gaping over at Willow, looking all suspicious considering the fake show of anguish she was putting on. Over with Stella Henry, she got into an argument with Isaiah Gannon. Still, Isaiah felt that Portia Robinson's marriage was in trouble long before he got involved. Portia wasn't the only one to condemn for that, so Isaiah felt that Stella should go readily on her, especially since Portia stepped up for Stella during the civil government's disquisition. As for Portia, she met with Tracy and Laura Collins since they were representing the sanitarium board. The meeting was to determine whether Portia would be reinstated on a probationary base or let go. Portia defended herself since she only changed the test results to cover Trina Robinson. Since Portia also proved she was a good croaker. By saving Drew's life when it counted, she hoped to continue working at GH. Curtis Ashford met with Laura in her office latterly and refocused out that Drew wanted Portia to change Michael's test results. The thing was to make Michael look addicted to opioids, but Curtis said that Portia refused and stood up for what was right. Laura appreciated Curtis giving her that information and hoped that if the baby was his, he'd continue to come together with Portia for a common thing. Back at the cafe, Ava got some disappointing news on her phone since there were some added freights for Jen Sidwell's rearmost art purchase that she wasn't anticipating. Trina assumed it'd be fine, but she wanted Ava to be careful when it came to Sidwell. Ava wasn't upset since she knew how to deal with guys like him and planned to spend a lot further time at Windmere. It was a pom-pom since Ava could make further art deals and keep an eye on Lucas, too. Speaking of Lucas, he came out to the sanitarium staying area and revealed that Drew had putatively suffered a massive stroke. There was a discussion about Drew potentially having aphasia, limited mobility, and perhaps indeed full locked-in pattern depending on the inflexibility of the case. Willow pretended she was distraught and intimately got relief of the hype. In a sanitarium waste container. As for Tracy, she gleefully spoke to Nina about Drew potentially remaining a vegetable and allowed air had come for him. Portia and Stella also traded justifications thanks to Isaiah giving them a nudge toward peace. Back in Britt's office, she got a visit from WSB director Ross Cullum, who was tired of her stalling. Cullum claimed Britt was going to vanish from her life and get the design online in 3 months. Britt tried to protest, but Cullum suggested they could replace her with another scientist. Cullum refocused out Britt couldn't find another source for her drug, so she agreed to come to Windmere tonight. As for Jason, Cullum advised Britt to get him out of her life or differently he'd do it for her. General Hospital spoilers say Britt will have no choice but to make some moves that'll arouse dubitation. So stay tuned. General Hospital is heating up with a storm of drama as the week of January 26th to 30th, 2026, promises intense storylines full of betrayal, danger, and emotional confrontations. From Drew Kane Quartermain's peril to Jason Morgan's suspicions, and from Britt Westbourne's impossible demands to Sonny Corinthos' scheming, Port Charles is a city on the edge of chaos. Nina and Curtis, caution and support on Wednesday, January 21st. The focus opens with Nina Reeves confiding in Ava Jerome about the lingering threat of Drew Kane. While Willow Tate has narrowly escaped prison and is legally free, Drew's presence keeps her from true freedom. Nina worries that Drew will never let Willow go, a sentiment that makes Ava advise caution. Meanwhile, Curtis Ashford is busy balancing family responsibilities and career matters as he talks with Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson at a local restaurant. Once Kai steps away, Curtis has a heart-to-heart with his daughter Trina, discussing Portia Robinson's upcoming General Hospital Board meeting, where her fate, whether to be fired for tampering with medical test results, is hanging in the balance. Trina later meets Ava to share updates, revealing her growing romance with Kai, but she also issues a warning about Jen Sidwell, which Ava downplays, confident she can handle any threats while keeping an eye on Lucas Jones. Willow's deception and Drew's collapse simultaneously. Willow Tate orchestrates a dramatic scene to make Drew Kane's sudden collapse appear natural. She calls 911, presenting herself as a distraught spouse. Over at the hospital, Elizabeth Weber discusses with Lucas Jones that Willow seems unusually submissive to Drew's will. When the critical patient alert comes in, Willow describes how Drew's speech slurred, and one side of his face seemed to droop before he collapsed. Liz consoles her, while Kai and Nina arrive, skeptical of Willow's act given her prior attempt on Drew's life. Tracy Quartermaine becomes involved, questioning Willow's motives, but Lucas delivers grim news: Drew may have suffered a severe stroke. The possibilities are dire, including aphasia, limited mobility, or even full locked-in syndrome. As Tracy mutters about karma for Drew, Willow quietly disposes of the syringe she used in the hospital's sharps container, erasing evidence of her crime. Portia Robinson faces the GH board. Portia Robinson's situation unfolds at the hospital as she faces scrutiny over test tampering. Laura Weber and Tracy Quartermaine review her case, listening to her justification: she altered tests only to protect Trina. Portia emphasizes her commitment to her medical oath, pointing out that she saved Drew's life despite his ongoing threats. The board, impressed by her integrity and dedication, ultimately decides to allow her to retain her license. Stella Henry's initial hostility toward Portia evolves as Dr. Isaiah Gannon intervenes, reminding Stella of Portia's efforts and explaining the context of her troubled marriage with Curtis. Stella softens and apologizes, while Isaiah offers Portia reassurance, creating a tense but resolved atmosphere. WSB pressures and Britt's dilemma. Meanwhile, Britt Westbourne finds herself under immense pressure from WSB director Ross Cullum. After demonstrating her office space and inviting Jason Morgan on a date, she receives an ultimatum: disappear to Windermere to complete a crucial lab project within 3 months or face the loss of her medication supply. Britt hesitates, requesting a 1-day extension, but Cullum refuses, reminding her that another scientist is ready to replace her if she falters. Further complicating her life, Cullum warns Britt to remove Jason from her personal affairs or he will do it himself. With limited options, Britt reluctantly agrees to comply, highlighting the tension between personal desires and professional obligations. Michael Corinthos vs. Harrison Chase. Violence escalates at the Quartermaine mansion when Michael Corinthos confronts Harrison Chase. Their verbal altercation quickly turns physical after Michael comments on Chase's proximity to Willow. Chase throws the first punch, prompting Michael to retaliate fiercely. The brawl continues until Jason Morgan intervenes, separating the combatants. Chase vows retribution, while Michael grapples with the fear of legal repercussions. Jason reassures him that Willow and Drew will not regain custody of the children and expresses confidence in Michael's innocence. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos pressures ADA Justine Turner to back off, highlighting his belief that Drew's actions warranted consequences and that the legal pursuit of Michael is unnecessary, given Willow's culpability. Daily spoilers, Thursday and Friday. Thursday, January 22nd, intensifies the drama. Lucas Jones delivers a devastating prognosis regarding Drew: the possibility of a vegetative state, locked-in syndrome, or severe aphasia. Jack Brennan remains highly suspicious of director Ross Cullum, while Tracy Quartermaine offers assistance to Jason. Nina advises Kai on matters regarding Willow, hinting at her awareness of Willow's past actions. On Friday, Jason's suspicions continue to grow, potentially regarding Britt's situation and the mysterious activities surrounding WSB. Emma Scorpio Drake seeks Nathan West's help to locate Anna Devane, while Chase and Brooklyn Quartermaine discuss the ramifications of the recent brawl and potential future conflicts. Meanwhile, Marco Rios and Lucas encounter unexpected developments, and Britt is further cornered by Cullum's demands regarding her laboratory work. Special tribute and February sweeps the week culminates with a heartfelt tribute to Tony Geary, commemorating his contributions to General Hospital following his passing in December. As February sweeps approaches, starting Thursday, January 29th through February 25th, GH ramps up the tension. Drew's fate remains uncertain. Ava faces manipulation by Sonny, and Curtis experiences relief as Portia maintains her position at the hospital. Jason grows increasingly worried for Britt, considering options for her protection, potentially involving Nina or Liesl Albrecht. Meanwhile, Anna's predicament worsens as Cullum, Sidwell, and Pascal manipulate Caesar Faison's voice to destabilize her, necessitating Emma, Mac, and Felicia's intervention. Sonny Corinthos' strategic move. Sonny remains at the forefront of the unfolding chaos, intent on using Ava against Sidwell while simultaneously seeking a fall guy to protect Michael from prosecution. He believes Drew's shooting was deserved, advocating for the case to be dismissed. Brennan's suspicions of Cullum grow, and the possibility arises that Britt may have allies, such as Jack Brennan, to resist Cullum's oppressive control. Recap of Wednesday, January 21. The midweek recap provides a snapshot of the intertwining plots. Tracy Quartermain expresses satisfaction at Drew's critical state, while Kai suspects Willow's involvement. Jason Morgan intervenes in the aftermath of Michael and Chase's confrontation. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Baldwin coordinates with Lucas Jones as they receive news of Drew's collapse. Willow performs convincingly for the hospital staff, claiming shock and worry, but discreetly eliminates the syringe. Portia and Stella reconcile, and Curtis advocates for her reinstatement. Ava contends with financial surprises while continuing to monitor Lucas. Lucas confirms Drew's massive stroke, potentially resulting in severe communication and mobility impairments, highlighting the ongoing medical crisis. Britt and WSB threats. Britt's narrative underscores the pressures imposed by WSB. Her relationship with Jason faces interference from Cullum, who enforces strict deadlines and threatens her personal well-being. This intersection of professional duty and personal desire places Britt in a precarious position, reflecting the high-stakes environment of Port Charles. Final thoughts and upcoming tensions. General Hospital's January 26 to 30th sweep promises an array of dramatic developments. Drew's condition, Willow's deceptions, Britt's compliance with WSB, Jason's investigative instincts, Sonny's strategic maneuvering, and Portia's ongoing career stability collectively create a high-tension environment. Every character's choices, alliances, and secrets are poised to have far-reaching consequences. As viewers anticipate February sweeps, GH sets the stage for shocking revelations, intense emotional confrontations, and critical decisions that will shape the fates of everyone involved. Stay tuned to General Hospital as January's final week unfolds, with secrets exposed, alliances tested, and shocking turns that will keep fans on the edge of their seats. From medical emergencies to explosive confrontations, Port Charles promises a week filled with suspense, heartache, and intrigue.